Welcome to Cult Fiction. We've got two shows we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about the new animated Splinter Cell series that is on Netflix, and we're going to be talking about Welcome to Derry, the scary show that has two episodes out now. Which platform is Welcome to Derry on, by the way? Is it HBO?
HBO Max.
Yeah,
HP,
so
yeah.
HBO Max. So let's start off with Splinter Cell. I think we can smash through that pretty quick, and then maybe we can spend a little bit more time on Derry. Tonight, I am the trivia master, and so just go ahead and DM me, you guys, on Discord with your guesses, and I'll throw out the first clue right now. First clue is pills, like popping pills. Um, okay, Splinter Cell. If you haven't seen it yet, if you're a fan, first of all, if you're a fan of Tom Clancy or the Splinter Cell franchise, I personally think that the series was good. It was an homage certainly to Sam Fisher and his career in all the Splinter Cell games. He obviously in this series he was playing an older guy. But I think they did a really good job in creating an interesting plot, creating interesting characters. There's a younger version of Sam Fisher that they're going to hand it off to at some point. But I really like the way it was put together. The only thing that I would say I had a problem with was the actual animation style. I feel like the animation style could have been a little punchier. The technology is certainly out there to do something more up to date. This felt like, I think, Eric, you said it was like the Batman
Yeah,
animated movies. It kind of
a
felt
lot
like
of
that.
lot of DC animated stuff from like 2010 to 2015 kind of
Right.
area.
And I get that animation can be a lot of work, especially if you're doing like an action show and you want to show some interesting things. But given that the animation is not like amazing, like Blue Eye Samurai or any of the newer animated shows that are coming out, um, it's still, I think, delivered as far as the action was concerned. It didn't get bogged down. It didn't lose you. So I would certainly give it a thumbs up, especially if you have any kind of a relationship with the Splinter Cell game series. I think it was worth your time. Eric, you wanna go? What did you think about it?
Um, yeah, I mean basically the same. I thought it was really good. I enjoyed it. There was a couple, um, there's several kind of oh shit, kind of instances. When he's using another guy as
Right,
as a
right.
shield.
The
I thought that
the
was
furnace, the furnace. I'll
yeah,
just throw that
the
out there. The
furnace was
furnace.
very, oh gosh. So so that was fun. It was fun that it was like um kind of, obviously the spy thriller. I do have an issue, and this is just in general, is like sometimes somebody does something so bad that just killing them isn't enough,
Right,
you know. Um like another example would be the bad guy in The Patriot, you know.
right,
It's
right.
like you couldn't kill that guy enough.
You need to kill him
Right?
several
You
times.
need to kill
Right.
him several times. And so sometimes these movies go pretty far with like, how bad someone is, and even their death is not satisfying enough.
Right.
So that's all I'll say about it.
I feel you on that. Yeah, the villain in this one, well, at least one of the villains in this one, certainly could have died a couple of extra times. So Alex, I know you've played the games.
Mhm.
What did you think about the translation?
I mean, the best way to say it is I was pleasantly surprised. I mean, I wasn't expecting much. I didn't expect it to be bad, but I was just
Sure.
sort of like
Yeah.
video game adaptations certainly have a checkered history.
Hmm.
So I was just kind of like, okay, I'll check it out. And yeah, I mean, I was really into it. And I really like how all the episodes are short and sweet. Everything's like
Hmm.
22, 23 minutes a pop. That's like they don't fill it out with anything. Obviously, it's been a long time since I played the game. I just remember bits and pieces, but the characters were all familiar to me, and I'm familiar with Shepard, Sam Batboy, and so I'm assuming that it's taking the games as canon and lore and
Right.
just sort of piggybacking off of that. So, but yeah, I was impressed, honestly. It was just sort of like, came in there with like pretty low expectation. The action was really good. I mean, the story, I was into it. I liked all the characters, and it was really cool to see, Sam Fisher in action, in real time, and when you're not
Right.
controlling it. So, but yeah, I mean, overall, I was just really, really impressed, and I didn't expect much of it, and it certainly surpassed all the expectations that I had. And I'm trying to think offhand when it comes to video game adaptations. I'm sure there's been that I can't recall right now. One that's good, someone.
Sure.
Arcane had a really good first season.
Arcane had a great first season. Yeah.
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 But offhand, other than that, I can't think of something that would compare as far as video game adaptations that would be as good as it, honestly.
Right. Right.
That's not high bar, but
there was a kind of Street Fighter anime in the late 90s. That was pretty darn good. I don't know if you guys ever remember watching
I don't think
that.
I saw that. I never was super into the Street Fighter franchise, but
Yeah.
I never did see that. But if it was
You
good.
said that, and I had a flashback, and I'm like,
It's good. It's good.
yeah.
So you said, Alex, you heard something about them rebooting the video game franchise. Or redoing
Yeah, that's the plan. Like, there's been a Splinter Cell reboot sort of in production for a while, but
Nice.
no details have been released as far as screenshots or anything. But
Dude.
yeah, they're making.
Yeah. After watching this, I was tempted to like reinstall those old games and try to get them
I
to
was
work.
gonna be like, man, I'd like to play that, but I wonder, because the first one came out, I think in 2004 or something like that.
Yeah, it's pretty old.
That's a pretty old game to boot up and play.
So Bueller, what did you think?
Before we get to Bueller, why don't you?
Oh yeah,
give us
you know
another
what?
clue?
Let
Did
me
anybody get anything?
Let me get another clue here. Hang on. Check this out.
How
Did you
about
get
the
my
guesses?
guess?
Anybody got a guess so far?
I'm looking at your guesses, and they were all absolutely incorrect.
All right.
Just making sure you got it.
All right, clue number 2 is batteries. Batteries, like those things you put in your sex toy, Joe. Batteries.
Mine don't require batteries, but okay. I mean, come on.
So you didn't play the video games, is that right?
I don't play video games, no.
Okay, all right. So what did you think? What did you think of the series?
Well, contrast to you guys, I thought the animation was beautiful. I thought it was gorgeous. I really enjoyed every aspect of it. I was worried about the voiceover aspects of it, but the pauses and the silence were kind of part of the show.
Right.
When we saw the trailer, I was like, I don't like this. But the whole show was like, man, we're living in the silence. This is awesome. And the violence and the gore and the flow of things was just, it was possibly the best animated show I've ever seen.
Wow.
It's above Blue-Eyed Samurai, honestly.
Wow.
That
is a big gift you're giving right now.
Oh,
Because Blue-Eyed Samurai was amazing.
I was enthralled with the entire thing. I couldn't wait to watch the next episode.
Nice.
And I didn't care that Liev Schreiber was the voiceover actor, even though I love that guy as an actor. I got lost in it. I didn't care who the voiceover actors were. And I watch shows like this. When you have voiceover actors, I'm like, I want to guess who's doing this voice, who's doing that. I didn't care. I want to know what's happening next. I want to know what the next storyline is, or the next plot. I only looked up the voice actors one time, which is good for me because I'll usually do that and be like, wait, who's voicing that character? Who's voicing that character? One time. Really enjoyed it. Thought it was fantastic. Just
good.
Start to
that is high praise, dude. So I think that's a resounding thumbs up, I would say, from the crew here, right? Okay, good.
It's surprising. Season 2 is already in production too. So,
nice.
I'm looking forward to it. Yeah. So let's move on to Welcome to Derry. I got all your guesses in on the second clue. Joe crushed it.
Nice, Joe.
Dude, honestly, God, let me just say, That was my first guess on the first clue, but I was like,
Yeah.
oh, it's too obvious.
Well, let's do the third clue and we'll see who gets it. Third clue is hovercrafts.
You guys are stupid.
Hovercrafts.
All of you are stupid.
Joe has earned the right to make fun of you because all of your guesses so far have been horrible. Okay, welcome to Derry. So here's the deal. This is something that's been in the works for a while. A lot of people have been talking about it. Anybody who watches the podcast knows that I am not a horror guy. I'm not a big horror guy. Alex is the horror guy, right? So my review of this show is going to be very, very quick. There's going to be spoilers, just so you know. And I turned it off. 5 minutes into the show, I turned it off.
I want to say, with your spoilers comment, yes,
Yeah, so everybody's going to have spoilers.
Yeah.
So if you haven't watched Welcome to Derry, the first 2 episodes of Welcome to Derry yet, and you don't want spoilers, don't keep listening. So I turned this stupid show off because that first scene was gross, like very gross. And the devil baby was very stupid. So I was like, okay, I can handle some gross if I have to. I can handle stupid if I have to, but gross and stupid, I'm out. So I pulled the ripcord before that scene was even over. And so whatever, I realized that this show was not for me. But that's just my opinion. I don't want to spoil what anybody else has to say about it. So I haven't talked to Bueller yet about this show. I'm interested, sir, in hearing exactly what you have to say about it.
No, man, I want to let Alex go first because I don't want to spoil anything he has to say. Honestly, please.
Okay, well, let's go to Alex then.
Okay, I mean, to put it in perspective, like, I'm the guy that, read the book 4 or 5 times, and I have like 3 different copies of it that I own. Like one of them signed by Stephen King, and then another one, some special edition that only had like 2,000 copies, blah, blah, blah. So I'm a pretty big fan of the book, I liked the movie, the first part of the movie. The second part wasn't as good, but it wasn't bad. So at any rate, I'm really looking forward to this and seeing where it goes. The first episode, I was pretty much felt the same way Jubal did in a lot of ways. Like, I'm not so quite offended by it all, but it's just sort of like I watch that opening scene and I'm just like, it feels like, because, spoiler, Pennywise doesn't show up, at least in the first 2 episodes. I'm expecting him to show up like probably later in the season, episode 6 or 7 intermittently. So it feels like they're trying to go for kind of shock and awe.
Right.
Like, just really just go overboard with it because they have to make up for the fact that they don't have his presence in the story yet.
Right.
And which is a little, like you said, it didn't work, for me. It just like,
it made me think of The Boys, where it's like, we're going for the gross out, like, look how gross we can be. And I was just like,
it's just like try to quote unquote push the envelope,
Right.
And so the second episode, I admit, picked up a little bit, because it introduced a new angle. It's like introduced a new character. I mean, Dick Halloran is in it, which constant readers know that he's the mentor for Danny Torrance in The Shining, and so him showing up adds an extra angle there. That's kind of like, okay, and the whole thing with the army. Okay, now we're getting somewhere where there's another angle that might interest me. As far as the characters that are involved so far, well. Now you have to build them up again in episode 2 because, everybody died in episode 1. So it's like, so I'm not too invested in the characters right now, right? Because, but I'm interested kind of where this angle goes to episode 2. But it's right now it's a little bit disappointing because what I expected going into it was an adaptation of the interludes from the novel, which is basically what those are. Is in the novel, it always switched time periods between the 50s and the 80s when they're kids and they're adults. And whenever time it switched time period, they'd have an interlude where it's like a historical account of something that happened in Derry's history with the entity and it and everything. So I thought it'd be more about the history of the town and more about that kind of thing. And so far, it hasn't really touched on anything like that. And I'm just sort of like, if you just want to create more situations of like big, scary, gross monsters, okay, go for it. I'm not going to be really invested in it. And like right now, I'm not too invested in it. There's an angle though. Okay, maybe that could hook into something. We'll see. But right now, it's
Right.
just kind of like, no.
Right. And if it does get better, I'll go back and watch it if you guys end up saying it's really good. So, okay, you've heard from Alex Bueller. What is your take on Welcome to Derry?
So that's kind of crazy to me because I kind of disagree with some of the things Alex said. Um, I've seen both movies. Admittedly, have not read the entire book. Um, but
It's a
what
big
was
book.
interesting is the pretense of all the characters that we know from the movies. So what we're going to end up with here is the parents of those characters from the movies that we've seen in the late 90s as well as the late 2000s, right? That's what we're building up to. Episode 1 was wild because I thought we're building up our ragtag group of kids who are going to
Mm.
defeat the monster and then they're all fucking dead. What the fuck?
People are learning the wrong lessons from Game of Thrones.
Crazy.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
Crazy. Well, they're not all
Yeah.
dead, but you know,
Yeah,
most
yeah.
of them are dead. Then we got episode 2. For me, episode 2 was phenomenal. I thought it was amazing because you had two really scary scenes. And Jubal, you didn't watch it. Eric, did you watch it?
Yeah.
You had two really scary scenes, and they were so set apart because you had the spoiler, you had the birth scene that was very dark and very scary from the get-go. Uh, Horror elements, blood elements, gore elements, all this kind of shit, like just from the start. Bang, 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 bang. And then you had the grocery store scene that was very bright, and there was no gore. There was no like monster element. There was nothing like that. It was very psychosomatic. Like so, you're watching it and it's subliminal because you got people behind the girl in the grocery store. When she walks past them, they're looking at her. You only see that in the background, not the foreground. When she crosses an aisle and they close that aisle off, it's happening in the background, not the foreground.
I know, yeah, that was a cool scene. It was a cool scene.
It was a very cool scene, but I think it was set up as a juxtaposition to the previous scene, the dark scene, because the dark scene was very in your face, and the light scene was set very far apart.
Hmm.
So I really enjoyed that, and I think Jubal, you would as well as a filmophile, as you say. Like I'm not a filmophile, but I watched this and I was like, God damn, those scenes are so far apart.
Hmm.
They are so distant from each other. I am really enjoying this. I think it's amazing. The director really knew what they were doing here, and again, I don't believe in the supernatural. That's not my thing. But the supermarket scene was scarier to me because it was more, or I'm sorry, less supernatural. It was more
Realistic.
I guess,
Yeah.
dude. It was just like, yeah,
Unnatural.
realistic. It was like, fuck, dude, what is
Yeah.
happening right now? I felt
Hmm.
until the end of it, because the end of it was gore and bullshit. But until it got to that was
Yeah, that's the problem with it.
scary
It just, yeah, it just had this eerie, uneasy feeling to it.
Oh,
right?
dude, it was
But it's
very
like
uneasy.
my personal problem with that scene, right, is that it's only quote unquote scary to somebody watching the show.
Hmm.
Right? Like there's all this stuff happening around this character that she's just oblivious to. Right? All the stuff happening around her that's scary. But who is it trying to scare? Because the only person that it can scare is the person watching the show, not the character in the show. So she's like 90% of it happened, and it doesn't happen to her. It happens to you, the viewer, right? So even though it's so mechanically well done, the only purpose it really serves is to keep you, the viewer, engaged, and it's not something that's happening to the character. You know what I mean?
Well, that's a very interesting way to look at it because if you're looking at it from a character point of view, if you can put yourself in that third person and look at it from the character's point of view, then yeah, obviously the dark scene is going to be much more terrifying. But who are you trying to entertain? Who are you trying to scare ultimately in this entire universe of film, you're trying to scare the viewer. You're trying to enthrall the viewer. You're trying to draw
No,
them in. So the supermarket scene worked for me for that because that's what
no.
really got me. That's what hooked me in.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, mechanically, it was super well done. But just for me, there was that sort of I was just kind of disengaged from it because it didn't really involve the character. It was like
Kind of breaking
the
breaking the
director doing
fourth
it for
wall
you,
kind of thing.
Yeah, a little bit, But I mean,
Yeah.
like I said, I mean, mechanically, it was really, really, really impressive. And I was like, oh, I was watching it and I was engaged and it was interesting.
So
Yeah,
sorry, Jubal, but like when they pulled the aisles across the aisles, like I almost wanted to laugh, but at the same time I was like, fuck, dude, that was smart as shit.
Hmm.
It was so rudimentary the way they did it. Uh, honestly, it was like 60s or 70s effects,
Hmm.
yeah,
but
it was all practical. It looked like.
it fucking worked. It
Hmm.
worked so well.
Interesting. Interesting. All right. Well, before we get Eric's take, let me throw out the last clue. This should be the last clue that you guys need. So we got pills, batteries, hovercrafts. Clue number 4 is trench coats.
Those are gay.
Trench coats. Uh, so
I
that
got it.
is incorrect, Alex.
What?
That is incorrect.
Uh,
Alex guessed Blade Runner.
Oh,
That's
okay, good. Because
What?
I was
that's not a
I was
bad
about
bet.
to guess Blade Runner.
That's not a bad bet.
I'm
Wow.
glad I'm glad you fucking told me not to.
This game is hard.
Oh, oh,
You know what it is
oh,
now. You know what it
Yeah,
is
you
now.
got it.
You
You
got it. You
dumbass.
got it.
yeah, duh.
Pills, batteries, hovercrafts, trench coats.
Where's my fucking? I'm trying to find my Discord app. Okay, here we
There you
go.
go.
Now I'm sending it in.
You got it.
Okay.
Eric's got it.
I'm still on the dark.
Oh man. All right, I'm gonna have to come up with a final clue for Alex on the fly. After we hear from you, Eric, what was your take on Welcome to Derry?
Um, I wanted it to be like in the same vein as like It Chapter 1, and I
Mm,
didn't feel like it was.
mm,
I wanted to expound on like the mythos of Derry or Deary, whatever it is. I don't give a shit, and I feel like I haven't got that yet. I feel like it was 2 episodes and 4 gross out scenes, you know, and that's what it was trying to do. It was trying to go, we're gross,
right, right.
Uh,
It's too bad.
I didn't find any of them to be scary. I found them to be gross. I was like the pregnancy one in the second episode. I was just like, oh, that's gross.
Mm.
And then the pickle jars, I was like, oh, that's gross.
Yeah.
So they had a gross pregnancy in both episodes?
So
Yes.
so the gross. Okay, let me just interrupt real quick. The pregnancy scene was gross. I'll agree with you. But the
Which
mom,
one? The
when
first episode or second episode?
second episode.
Second episode.
So with the mom in the second episode, when they just focused on the mom, she was creepy.
That was better. Yes.
That was
When
better.
when she was talking, and that's the other thing is like that's what was bothering me was you talk about the scene in the what's it called, the supermarket.
Yeah.
And I felt like that was what was creepy was when people were like, "Oh, you're crazy.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
loony." I'm like, "That's creepy." The
Yes.
mother talking is creepy. And then
Yes.
you go full on gross and I'm like, "Okay, well now I'm out of it. I'm out of the scene." It's like
Right.
you to me that was, and when I say creepy, I'm really saying borderline scary. I didn't find the gross stuff to be scary. I found it
Right.
to be like taking me out of the thing. Having the crazy girl, hearing people call her crazy, making her go more crazy is like scary. Having a pickle jar with her dad's head in it, is like, okay,
Yep.
okay.
Yep. Yep.
Right.
You know,
Right.
and same thing with the mother. It was like when she comes out, and the mother's like, you killed me because she died during childbirth. I'm like, oh, that, if I'm the kid, wrecked. I'm
Mm.
fucking wrecked. You know, like I'm just like, because that's already something who obviously it's not her fault, but thankfully none of us have experienced that.
Mm.
You could imagine how she would feel some sense of guilt, even though there's no reason for her to feel guilt, right? If
Right.
there, and then for the mother to be like, oh, you killed me, and then her belly turns into fucking,
A
what's it,
mouth.
Pennywise's
Yeah.
mouth, basically, and you're like, okay, and she's getting pulled back in by an umbilical cord. You're like, okay, I mean, cool,
Gross.
but
Yeah, it's like
Gross.
sometimes it's just like, scary is usually better when it's subtle.
Yeah.
It's
right,
like when
right,
it's like when it's so over the top and just like
right.
in your face. It's just kind of like, okay, you just break the emotion of it.
And
Right.
here's the thing, I'll tell you, it's funny because I don't like scary movies. I'm not a horror movie fan, right? So when the mother was talking and then she like got in her face and stuff, I was like, "Ooh, like I don't like this in the sense of this is why I don't like scary movies because it was actually scary." I was almost like, "Man, I hope this ends soon." And then they went to the gore and I was like, "Cool, thank you. Actually, you just took me out of it. Like I
Reduce the
was
scariness. Right.
you actually released the scariness. I was actually having a moment where it's like, well, this might be fucking too scary for fucking me to watch because I'm not good at this shit. And then they were like, gross. And you're like, oh, okay, okay. Well, I guess it's over now.
Yeah.
So then there was a couple things that I just didn't quite understand. And this is I wanted to talk to like Alex because I know Alex knows. Like, are the people in the town like in on it when it comes to like um Pennywise? Do
think
they
of
kind
it
of know?
basically think of it as just like a permeating sort of aura around the town.
Mm.
It sort of affects how they feel and think. It's sort of like
Right.
once
So
when you leave the town, you kind of forget about it, and just but when you're
okay, that helps a little bit because there was that scene where the wife of the military guy was in the butcher shop and the kid and like four kids were beating the shit out of this other kid. And she was like, "Is somebody gonna stop that?" And the guy was like, "Oh, boys being boys," and they were kicking the shit out of this kid, right? This wasn't just like like, "Hey, punk,"
Wow.
this was like, "You might die if I do this for a little bit longer." And so she goes over there and she stops it, and the kid runs, and then they're like, "Oh, well, we're gonna go run after the kid." And then everybody's looking at her like, "Why'd you stop it?" I'm like, "Are all you fuckers evil, or like, what's going on here? Like,
So
is the whole town evil?
Right.
Like, what?"
Yeah,
So I
just
didn't
think of it,
understand
as
that.
like a toxic cloud, basically.
Right.
Just think
Right.
of it
There's
that
like
way.
the whole idea, I think, in at
yeah,
least
think
in
of
the book, as far as I
WandaVision.
remember, is
Think of
yeah,
WandaVision.
yeah. There's like a suppressive aura over the whole town that
Mm.
kind of alters the way that people think.
It
It's
just
like
sort of, it feeds off it.
right.
Okay,
So
that
Right.
helps. That helps because I was just like, nobody acts like that, like
Right.
ever,
Right.
and so that threw me off. That threw me off a little bit, but I felt like there could have been an explanation that I was just not aware of, and that's why I wanted to ask
they
that
I
too.
don't, I don't know if they haven't. I mean, they haven't explained that in the show. I don't recall if they really went into that in the movie. Maybe they did in the second part. Because I mean, you didn't watch the second part, right?
No, I haven't. I should though.
Maybe it does go into that. I don't remember. It does. It goes on
the
to a
second
lot more
part of the
detail
new
in the
one
book,
sucks, by the
obviously.
way.
You thought
Oh,
the second It movie sucked?
The second part of the new one sucks. The second part of the old one, decent.
Hmm. All right.
and then
I mean, the problem too with the second part is like the problem with the story as a whole. It's like you have to end this story, and like
Right.
defeat this thing that is all powerful,
Right.
and it's like you have to make shit up.
Right.
I mean, the whole ending of the book with like Stephen King riding through a haze of like cocaine with like toilet paper up his nostrils, just like bleeding profusely with coke dust
Just
on his lips,
right.
But yeah, like how do you make that make sense? Like you
Right.
can't Right. At
Right.
the end of the day, it's like this ancient, ageless entity from another universe that
Yeah.
comes to you and talks to you as a clown. That doesn't make any sense.
Right.
Like, you
Right.
can't logically create an end to something like that, It's just,
Right.
but enjoy the story while it's good.
There you go. There you go. And if you guys, like I said, if you tell me later as the series goes on that it gets better, I'll go back and watch it. For my part, if you don't like gross, stupid stuff, you can find something else to watch. So let me do this real quick. One more clue for Alex to see if he can get it. This will be the clue that I just made up off the top of my head. Smiths.
Myths.
Smiths.
Not the punk rock band, by the way.
Yeah, not the punk rock band.
They're pretty good now.
Right.
Smiths.
So stew on
So
that.
pills, batteries, hovercrafts, trench coats, Smiths.
So Eric, while Alex is thinking, I got to say, like, I think this is actually giving you the background on Pennywise, because Pennywise is a cosmic entity that crash landed in the earth. And so in the first episode, we have one of the kids who's fucking dead now talking about how we already have aliens on Earth and doing all this stuff. And he's dismissed, right? And then he dies. Also in the It universe, turtles are gods, and you have the whole switch of the rocket ship and the turtles with the charms with the girl and the boy at the clubhouse, whatever you want to call it, the observatory, right? So she gets the turtle, that's why she's saved. Also, you have in the second episode the guy who was driving the Jeep in the first episode, who I thought was just a regular airman, but no, he's kind of some kind of psychic, but he's not a really good psychic. He's kind of terrible. He has his honing in on the four Horcruxes of Pennywise, right? And
Well,
Pennywise,
he's got the Shining.
he's got the Shining, and so you're gonna find out from what I'm gathering. I don't know for sure. From what I'm gathering, Pennywise was in the middle of like a Barnum and Bailey style circus. And that's why he took on the entity of the clown, because at that point in time, clowns were what kids loved. We don't love them now. We fucking hate them. They're terrible.
Right.
But at that point in time, during Barnum and Bailey, they were great. I'm not saying it is Barnum and Bailey, but I'm saying is like that's the time,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
And so he took on that entity, and that's what he decided to stick with.
So is that what the military is looking for? Is his crash site?
His four Horcruxes is what I'm guessing. Alex would know more. He's read the book. I didn't read the book, but those are his four Horcruxes. They pulled one up in the last episode. It was the car with the family in it that are dead, that I'm assuming is the family from the first episode.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah, and we're gonna get more of those Horcruxes. And what I think is funny is they want to drop Pennywise in Cuba.
Wow.
That's their nuclear weapon.
Oh, right.
That's fucking hilarious to me. And we didn't bring this up at all, but our main marshal, our main airman, the whole reason that they wanted to bring him in is because he's a man without fear. He's not afraid.
Yeah, because he has brain damage or something. He had an injury.
His amygdala, I think.
Yeah.
Right.
He feels no fear.
That's kind of interesting, actually. That's
Yeah,
interesting.
he can capture Pennywise without being afraid of it, and that's what I hated about the original movies, is because, like, yeah, you're kids, you're afraid of all this shit, but
Right.
then when you're an adult, grow the fuck up, dude. Like, what are you you're afraid of? What, a clown that's gonna
Ain't nobody got time for that. I got bills to pay.
Your braces are gonna
So
grab
I
your
got
head.
rent.
Like, yeah. Come on, dude.
Yeah. All right.
That's
Well,
what it's kind of a funny aside, but 'cause everybody here is a Stranger Things fan, right?
Yeah.
oh yeah,
Uh,
sure.
The character that Sean Astin played, I think it was in season 2, was it?
Yeah.
I forget his name.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bob.
It's kind of funny because he tells that story. Like, he grew up in a small town in Maine, and there was Bob the clown that scared him, and like Bob Gray was one of the names of Pennywise. So it's
Right.
like, if you put it together, he grew up in a small
Interesting.
town. He was scared by the clown, and he's like,
Mm,
"Oh, I'm not
No,
scared."
I love these asides that are in the movie. Like you brought up, the guy's name was from The Shining, and we talked about
Uh,
Shawshank. They talk about that in the second episode. Like, how long do you think you're going to survive when you're in Shawshank prison?
right, right,
Like, we're going to see a lot more of those.
yeah,
right. That's cool,
like
actually.
yeah,
That's
like I said, yeah, the military angle did introduce like an interesting hook, and I'm like, okay, if it weren't for that, I would kind of be like, I don't know if I'd really watch it right there, but that has got me like, okay, let's go into the third episode because I was hoping for some sort of historical or lore aspect coming up in the show. I don't need more kids in danger being like that's not.
right.
I've already seen that and it's already been done. I don't need to see that again.
Yeah, that's what
Unless
kind
So,
of bothered me
something
about
else.
killing all those kids in the first episode. It was kind of like, I don't know, you didn't need it. It was
mm,
I you it would have been a better episode almost without it, to keep the kid that thinks aliens are a thing alive and all this kind of stuff. And I just kind of felt like what they were doing was like, oh, we want everybody to tell everybody, man, they killed all the fucking kids, watch this, it's so crazy. It's like,
right.
okay, well, I
Yeah,
mean,
but again, we're setting the stones for the parents of the kids who were in the movie that we saw in the late '90s. That's what we're doing here.
is
But
that what it is? I mean,
that even creates problems because like one
yeah,
of the kids was Jewish, so his brother was Dan's dad or something. So you would think that like he would remember, oh yeah, my great what was it, grand stepdad or stepbrother or whatever was like slaughtered in a movie theater and torn apart. But it just
right.
seems to be like just kind of forgot about that.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
But that's a minor
So
quibble.
give it a thumbs up or down, you guys. What do you think so far?
I don't think I can't. I mean, for me, it's like I'm gonna watch the third episode. For me, it's hard to give anything a thumbs up after or thumbs down after two episodes,
Hmm.
truly.
Mhm.
You know, I could say that I don't feel like what I wanted it to be was like it chapter one, and
Hmm.
so far it's not like that for me. But that's about all I can say.
All right.
I'm all in. I'm 10 toes down, dude.
All right. All right. What do you think, Alex?
Like I'm kind of borderline right now. Like if not for that one ankle in the military right now, I'd be angling thumbs down. But there's a potential there to kind of make me interested again. So I'm just kind of like, okay, so I'm going kind of upward now. But we'll see. It's only two episodes. Can go a lot higher, can go a lot lower.
Yeah.
Right.
We're at
Yeah.
66% because Jubal's out.
I'm out. I shut it off. But again, if you guys end up saying it's really good, I'll turn it back on. The movie, by the way, Alex, was The Matrix. Mm.
Yeah. I was never a big fan
So,
of Matrix.
oh, that's too bad. It's a good movie. Uh,
You
uh,
have never seen The Matrix.
no, he saw it. He's not a big fan. Uh,
It's
all
okay.
right.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty good. That's why I did it. Okay, thanks for joining us for our Welcome to Derry Splinter Cell issue. Turns out, according to our reviews, Splinter Cell is actually a better show than Welcome to Derry. Who knew? Who would have thought it?
Who knew?
We'll see you next time. Thanks, everybody.